Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. This week, we have a musical director, producer, writer, artist, CEO, just a, extraordinaire. He does it all. The Heat Mizer himself.
Yes, sir.
Marcus Devine. Welcome to the show, Marcus.
Man, thanks for having me, bro.
Oh, no problem.
Before we get started, I'm gonna tell you something that's crazy. My son name is Troy Gardner.
Really?
Yeah, that is funny.
Dope. Well, I mean, you chose wisely, giving him that name.
Right.
So, yeah, we're gonna represent for him today then.
Yes, sir.
Shouts to the other Troy.
Right.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, you worked with everybody. I mean, we can run down a list. Charlie Wilson, Teddy P,
yeah,
Destiny's Child, Silk,
yeah,
Dave Hollister, Kelly Price, the late great Sean Levert, Brownstone, Monica, Mario, 112, Olivia, Faith, Escape,
Jagged Edge,
Dietrich Haddon, Jagged Edge, and Baby Girl.
Yep.
Yeah. So, take us to the beginning. Like, how did you get started embarking on this journey in the music industry?
I come from a musical family, man. My mom and my pops, they was in a gospel group, a quartet group. So my mom's is the one who actually started me playing bass. The bass player for the gospel group taught her some things, so she would teach me what she taught him, what he taught her when I was little. So it just, man, I always been around music, bro.
Right.
And just, I started writing early too, because we ended up having a gospel group when I was younger. So I started writing for the gospel group. Then that turned into gigging with a lot of different gospel artists and doing plays, and all of that turned into going on tour with some of the plays. That's how me and Charlie Wilson actually hooked up and was doing the play. So yeah, man, started with my mom, bro.
Cool. So, like, how long did it take from, like, when you first started writing? Because I'm sure there's a lot of trial and error that goes into that, where you write it and then you get your hoop on, throw the ball of paper up in the trash can, shoot it in the trash can,
man.
To the point where you was like, you know what, I got something here.
Honestly though, that part didn't take a long time as far as knowing, like, oh no, I could do this for real. The long part was actually placing a record. It felt like to me, you know what I mean? So, but I actually placed my first record when I was 16, 17 years old.
Okay. Who was that?
It was a gospel artist, a choir called Salt of the Earth. We won a Stellar Award too, so that was cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're from Detroit, Michigan. Let's talk about how the backdrop of the Motor City and its blue collar work ethic, how did it rub off on your approach in the grind and pursuing the music career?
I never really thought about that though. But I guess if I have to put it in words, everybody always say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I always tell people, if you can make it in Detroit, you can make it anywhere, because we don't have. New York has a scene. New York has a industry. You know what I mean, as far as entertainment and different things like that. All you got to do is jump on the A train, go downtown, or whatever train. I'm just naming the train. Jump on the train and go downtown and stand outside one of their buildings. You know what I mean? They all down there. But in Detroit, it's not like that. You got to really make some noise for somebody else, somewhere else, to hear what you're doing, and then be like, oh, let me go check that out. So I guess that whole blue collar, that grind, that you got to have, is definitely added to who I am. Because I always say, you can put me in any room. I don't care who in the room. I'm going to do what I need to do in that room to come out, on top. So.
Right. So was music your first love, or
No,
Did you have ambitions to go in another direction?
of course, man. I thought I was gonna play basketball, bro. Like, man, I used to shovel the snow to play basketball. Like, and that's how serious I was about it. But everything changed, man. I went in ninth grade. I was in the talent show, and I saw the girls like the singers, bro. And I was like, whoa. And I know they like basketball players,
Yeah. I
but
was gonna say that's often a debate. It's like
yeah,
who's more popular.
but it's 12 of them.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm trying to say? There's 12 dudes on the team. There's one on me.
Right.
So the focus is all on me. You know what I mean? You have an off game, and they ain't checking for you. No, he's terrible. Like, you know what I mean? But being a singer is all focused on me. So that's what changed my whole everything, man.
Uh-huh. So yeah, so you said you had your first placement at 17, for a gospel quintet. When did you start, transitioning into R&B soul? And just talk about like, was there any sort of backlash, or like how did your mom feel about that?
That's funny you bring her up. No backlash. What I just knew, because I was straight up church boy, like, but R&B was my thing. Like, anytime I heard it, it made me feel good. So even when I would write gospel, it was still an edge to it. Like, you know what I mean? So I just literally sat my mama down and told her I was gonna do R&B, and I was ready for that the whole, no, you're not. You're gonna sing for the Lord. And she was like, all right, I trust you. And after that, I really didn't care who didn't like it. My pastor could have came and said something to me. After my mama gave me the thumbs up, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So.
And then you come from, the backyard of the Clark sisters, so I'm sure, they had that template that everybody just, wanted a piece of, and following those footsteps.
Yeah. Definitely. But what's funny, they wasn't my inspiration though. It was commission.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I hear
wine,
that a lot as well.
that was my, like, and still to this day, they influence a lot of my vibes, my harmonies, and a lot of different things I do. You know what I mean? They're definitely a big part of who Marcus Devine is. Love the Clark sisters. I know them all. I love them. But that wasn't the thing that I didn't wake up in the morning and be like, oh, let me listen to this Clark sister record. You know what I mean? If I'm listening to something all day, it's commission.
Right. All right. So no, just talk about, like I mentioned earlier, another artist from the Detroit area was the late great Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Just talk about how you connected with her as far as, being a supporting vocalist.
That was crazy how that happened. My best friend Gerald Hatton asked me to go to rehearsal with him one day, and I wasn't doing nothing, so I went. And when I got there, the music director, the guy who was actually supposed to sing background, didn't come to rehearsal for 2 days. I don't know what he was thinking about, but he didn't come for 2 days. And so the music director was like, "Come here, Marcus, come and sing this note for me." So I'm just, standing in, and Aaliyah she walks in the rehearsal and points and be like, "Who is that?" I could see her mouth like, "Who is that?" And they was like, "That's Marcus Devine." And I seen her head do like this. She's like, "I like him." And so they like, "Hey man, Aaliyah wants you to stay." I was like, "Oh, okay." So 2 days later, the guy comes in. After not being there for 2 days, now we done got tight, singing. He comes in and like, "What's going on?" And it's like, well, Aaliyah want to do something different. She want to go with Marcus. He gets mad. I'm talking about on fire. So the daddy go like, okay. We're gonna do another audition. I didn't know all this until later. But he's like, we're gonna do an audition. So I get in there the next day. It's 20-some guys in there, Troy. When I get there, and I'm like, what's going on? So. And they was like, well, we got to do an audition, such and such. Her daddy Mike was like, do an audition. So they start singing. Aaliyah walks in like, what's going on? She didn't even know. She like, what's going on? And they was like, well, your pop said we got to do an audition because the guy, I ain't going to say his name, the guy was upset, that Marcus got the job. He didn't. She's like, I want Marcus. And she turned to the guys and was like, all right, everybody, y'all heard what she said. She want Marcus. Thank y'all for coming out. And the rest is history, bro.
Yeah, which project was that for?
Oh, that was the first tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the very first tour. The Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, Back and Forth, all of that stuff. That was that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was then.
Okay. Um. So like, let's talk about, I guess, working with, say, artists that have, put in the years. They have hits, from the 70s, 80s, like your Charlies and Teddy P's,
Hmm.
Shirley Murdoch's, to when you're working with a relatively new artist.
Right.
Like, how is that experience? Is it like the artists that have been around longer, they have a system and they just know what they want and how, versus the newer artists where they may take more instruction?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I've been blessed, bro, because even dealing with the older artists, it's a level of respect where they want what I got. Like they want
Hmm.
what I have to offer. Being with Charlie Wilson, anything he did, he was like, nephew, what you think? What you think? So a lot of that was him coming to me for a lot of my ideas.
Right.
So that was cool. And the difference with working with a new artist is I found myself internally fanning out a little bit all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Because every once in a while it'll hit me like, yo, do you realize you're sitting here with Charlie Wilson? Like
Uh-huh.
to myself, but I have to still have to keep the game face on. You know what I mean? I have to keep the game face, but it's like, yo, I be fanning out, and to be able to pick up the phone and call her Shirley Murdoch, bro. She's like, you know what I mean? Like, so I have my moments, but new artists, you have to have a little more serious face because I'm in teacher mode more so with the new artists than I am with the older artists.
Right.
So
And it's interesting that you would say that about Charlie Wilson, because I I would say, just based on that, I think that's why his career has stood the test of time. It's like him and Ron Isley; they know how to work
yes,
with younger musicians, and they don't seem to have that ego. They're just there to make great music, and
and
you
they
know,
know what they want. That's the crazy. They know what they want now, but They don't walk in the door like it's got to be this way, this way, this way, this way. They're
hmm,
open to okay. They want some freshness, like you say. That's what helps them have that longevity. You know.
right, cool. Um, yeah, I'm interested in touching on the your role as a music director. Um, like how does one get that gig? I know people like Patrice Rushen and Chucky Booker.
You
Um,
naming my favorites.
they
Yeah.
transition from being artists to music directors.
Mhm.
Like, just talk about why that resonated with you to get into that role
Um,
career
it, it
wise.
it didn't, Troy. It was funny. I was thrown into it. Basically, what happened was I was playing keys for this play called "Why Good Girls Like Bad Boys," and the
Hmm.
music director, my friend Vali, rest in peace. He he was the music director. We went and did one city, and when we came home, he wanted a raise after the first city. So he came home like, "I ain't going back out if y'all don't give me more money." And they're like, "Yo, we don't have it." So he quit. And the lady that was over the place called me crying, like, "What am I going to do? I don't know what to do." And I'm the dude. I'm like, calm down. I got you. Don't worry about it. We're going to make it work. I'm scared as hell because I ain't never did, I never
Right.
did this before. So I ended up being the music director. We toured that play for 4.5 years, bro. Like I went everywhere. I remember going to the Beacon Theater in New York, and they was like, "Who's the music director?" And they was like, "Him." I'm about 23, 22, 23. They was like, "Him." They laughed at me because I'm too young in this game. I was too young to be a music director.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but after that week though, they came and apologized. Like, we sorry, we didn't mean to laugh because you're incredible. You know what I mean? So that was kind of dope. So yeah, I was kind of thrown into it. I wasn't looking for this.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been a musical director for Shanti,
Yeah.
Genuine,
Hmm.
Beth, who I've also had on the show,
Okay.
and the Millennium Tour.
Yeah.
Like, I- comparing, I guess, just being a music director for one artist versus a tour.
Hmm.
I'm sure that there's a whole lot behind the scenes that takes place, especially for the Millennium Tour,
Woo.
where potentially there's two headlining acts. I know that's how it used to be with the
Right.
original Millennium Tour, and then a lot of the opening acts. Like, do you craft the show in a way that the opening acts won't necessarily uh, steal a shine from the headliners, to where there isn't any beef going on backstage?
Nah, this is the beauty of that tour. All of those tours, because I did all of them.
Hmm.
The headliners always bring their own band. This is the thing
Okay.
about the Millennium Tour. Like Omarion always had his own band, or Mario had his own band. I was the music director for all the other artists.
Okay.
Like like the last one we did, I was the music director for 5 or 6 artists on that one tour. But the very first time it was just Pretty Ricky, Lloyd, and Bobby V. So I did all 3 of them. And no, I don't craft the show to. I go in to overshine, and I want the headliners. I wanted to be hard for the headliners, and every night, that's what it was. You know, it was crazy, man. Not, I ain't never holding back for the headliners. They could get a better show. So.
Yeah, I mean, like that doesn't completely surprise me. It's just I just always feel like it's a lot of negotiating and stuff going on behind the scenes. Like nobody wants to go first and
It's a lot of
perform.
insecurity.
Yeah,
it's a whole lot. Listen, a whole lot of insecurity. Everybody, if it's like, okay, we're gonna give him 10 minutes, him 10 minutes, and him 9 minutes. That dude who got 9 minutes, he's crying. I need to walk on. First of all, it take you 30 seconds to walk on, 30 seconds to walk off. That's your minute. You tripping over that other minute. So it'd be crazy, man, the kind of stuff that go on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's definitely, what I'm trying to say, it's definitely a art in being able to handle all those artists. Like, like I said, the last one was about 6 artists. So that means that's 6 managers.
Right.
Then there's 6 people that they bring with them. Like, so you got to deal with all of these different attitudes, man. And I just been blessed to be able to know how to navigate through. I don't kiss no butt. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, I don't play for no artist. We collab. I collab with all the artists. So I don't go in as the help. Because when you do that, they feel like they hold your career in their hands. And it's like, nah, if I'm working with you, we collabing. I don't work for you.
Dr. Todd McLean provides periodontal and dental implant services in 2 convenient locations. They offer over a decade of experience treating patients, and appointments can even be scheduled in the evenings, weekends, or early mornings. Give them a call in Chapel Hill at 919-537-9774 or in Durham at 919-484-8338 or visit them online at gumsandimplants.org.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was listening to this week's episode of R&B Money with Tank and Jay Valentine, and they had Andra Day on, and she was talking about how oftentimes the musicians and the background dancers, they're the ones that get very little respect. And like she made it her mission on this upcoming project to play with the musicians that she tours with, and make sure that they had the respect and the attention that was needed.
Yeah, and it's crazy. That's 100% right. Like my name of my company now that I tour with is called The Real Headliners, DA Headliners, like The Real Headliners, because at the end of the day, that is who the headliners are. We're the band. Like a lot of artists get out there and you could do tracks, but to me that's karaoke. If you get out there with tracks, I can go in my car and listen to your record, But that people pay $200-$300 for tickets. They want an actual show, man, and you can't do that by yourself. So,
what has been the most rewarding aspect of working with such a diverse range of artists throughout your career?
It leaves me not chasing anything. I guess that would be the most rewarding thing. I'm not chasing anything in this industry no more. You know what I mean? I'm totally happy with my life. What I'm doing now, I'm doing just because I want to do it. But, to be able to sit back, I can listen to my resume and go, okay, I'm good. What else I'm trying to do? You know what I mean? So I still got a couple more that I'm trying to do, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was definitely going to ask you that. Like,
Yeah.
what accolades, have eluded you so far that you're still hoping to accomplish?
Me and Brandy in the studio to do a record. Me and Brandy. Let me produce an album on her.
Uh-huh.
I just told my age with the album, but with the word album, don't nobody say albums anymore. But do a project on Brandy.
Right. And they call her the Bible.
She is.
So so was there anyone before Brandy that was like high on that list that you had the opportunity? I mean, I know you're gonna say Charlie, but anyone else?
Yeah, I mean a few. Like to work with Dave Hollister, like you know what I mean, to produce records on him. That's one of my favorite vocalists. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like I say, to tour with Shirley Murdoch, on the plays and different things like that. Like so, I'm dope. That's what I say. I'm happy with what I've done. You know what I mean? So, but that Brandy, her, Kiki Wyatt, you know what I'm trying to say. Those real singers, bro. That anything I think of, they can deliver. So that's the
Right.
that's what I like. So, but
So
I'm cool. If it never comes to pass, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
uh-huh. So in light of, all of the attention that Beyonce's had with Cowboy Carter, would going into other genres, would that be something you would pursue as well?
Oh yeah, I'll say yes to everything. Like you know what I mean. If somebody come, I tell people even if I don't know how to do it, you give me a day or so, I'll learn. I'll be good by the time we get there. But so I'll definitely go into other genres. I I admire what she's doing, and it's like to me, it's like a boxer. If you
Mm-hmm.
approach it like that, boxers they don't just look to stay in the light middleweight. They want the middleweight belt. They get in the weight to go to the to the heavyweight. So my thing is, when she's done, if she can be like I killed him in every genre, she's the Floyd Mayweather of the entertainment business. So I love it. I love it, man.
All right, let's
I like the
yeah.
I like the record. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, I think I was more on 16 carriages over Texas Hold'em, but
Right.
I think the whole project, I was like, this is solid.
And sonically good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I listen to all of that, the mix and everything. You know what I mean? Just even how it was recorded. If you like on the technical side, it wasn't just big stereo wide. Like you just have a guitar only over here. Like all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. I'm like, whoa, she's serious. Like she's serious, bro.
Yeah, and you have to be, I think, especially when you you jump in the country because they don't, they'll speak their mind. If
Yeah.
they don't if they don't think your music is good, they're gonna
Right.
say it.
And,
So
and that's funny you brought that up. I had that conversation the other day about the record because there was some girl online mad that Beyonce, stay over there and such and such and such and such. Like, slow down. If we took that attitude, we wouldn't have a Justin Timberlake.
right.
We wouldn't have a Robin Thicke and a
Hmm.
John B. And if we all took that attitude, we
Yeah.
don't none of us own these genres. You know
Right.
what I mean? That it's what I'm trying to say, it's a form of it's a form of art. Like you know what I mean. You can't tell me what to paint,
Uh-huh.
and I hate when we do that. I hate when we try to chokehold R&B. If
Yeah.
they making an R&B record, let it just be an R&B record.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because I mean, with say like Sam Smith and Adele and
yeah,
I think Miley Cyrus, her when she sort of crossed over, it was more towards hip hop than
right,
R&B, but
right,
yeah, it was a lot of backlash when she tried to do it. So
yeah.
yeah,
But I
that's
just think we'll be trying to guard it, and a lot of times this conversation about to go a whole nother way.
let's go.
and a lot of times we try to what they call it, gatekeep the situation. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it be mostly out of insecurity though. It don't even be what we really feel and what holding dear the genre that we arguing about. It'd be insecurity, like, oh, that record doing bad. I remember a lot of people was arguing that, man, they play Sam Smith all the time on this station and every station, but they won't play us over there. Be like, that's so what? If you actually cared about the genre that you're in, and that's talking about not just your record, but supporting other artists that's in your genre. We don't even support other artists. We don't, you know what I mean? We want our record to sell. We want our record to do something, but we don't create, we ain't buying no stations. We could do all the same things if we put our money in the places to do the things, but we let other people monopolize the situation and then get mad that we're not number one in their situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, that's a conversation that's, like I say, that could go on forever.
Okay. All right. Well, so what else grinds your gears when it comes to the music industry?
I don't know, bro. The award shows, everything. Like, you know what I mean? I hate that we always looking for somebody to do something for us. We have the BET Awards, but we go to the BET Awards like we're going to a cookout in the backyard. But then the Grammys come, we go get our best fits, we go get our best dresses and our best everything, and we show up to them begging that they acknowledge us. When we devalue the BET Award, like it's not that thing. It's cool to get a BET Award, but do you have a Grammy?
Right.
Because we want Master to be pleased with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll say I think one thing that kind of grinds my gears is sort of in that vein, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh,
like
man.
what constitutes rock and roll, and how can you not? And if it's supposed to be all inclusive, how can you not have like a Whitney Houston? How can it take Shaka Khan till this year to get in? How can it not have Nas or well, I think the Wu-Tang Clan is in there now, but like artists that I think so, but artists that have clearly, crossed over and have been doing it for multiple decades. Why are they not recognized? So that's where
I think that's because I think the lines are blurred. I think because they can argue what is rock and roll at that point. You know what I mean? When it benefits them from blocking the entry. You know what I mean? It's what is rock and roll? That's not rock and roll. Like, such and such. And on the flip side of that, I'm like, who cares about that place? I always say there's so much money that we control and that we have in our hands. I said to somebody, I said, if we just took all the millionaires in the business and said, hey, y'all, everybody just get $1 million. Just all the black millionaires, it wouldn't be another poor black person in the world. So I say that to say basketball leagues, everything, we always rather be the worker as opposed to the one creating the thing. Why isn't there just a black music Hall of Fame? You know what I'm trying to say? That we control. But we wait to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the whatever, I don't know, bro. I'm pro us getting it. Like that's
right.
No shade and no diss to nobody else because they doing what they supposed to do for their own. I just hate that we don't do that same thing.
Yeah, I think we're still trying to figure it all out.
I agree.
Yeah. So, like, tell me about "I Love My Life" coming out soon.
Yeah.
What should we expect?
A grown ass man that's saying whatever he want to say, and and however I want to say it, and that's literally the honest to God truth. I just released my single on the 12th, Greatest Show, and that's a real, I call it a Marvin Gaye type song, where it's talking about doing the do, but in a dope, clever way. So that's why I call it like a Marvin Gaye type, because Marvin Gaye was nasty, but he had a real dope way of saying all the stuff that he wanted to say. But that's the single. That's what I would call it, a Marvin Gaye type vibe. But the Greatest Show, it's got some other stuff on it that's straight to the point. It ain't, it's definitely for grown people.
Mm-hmm. Who are you working with on it?
My best friend Q Parker from 112, he's on it. Selena Johnson, and I got a song that I wrote that me and Dave Hollis were doing on it too. So, and I'm still recording, so ain't no telling who else might pop up on there.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in the fall, correct?
Yes, sir. October.
Okay. So how do you stay motivated and inspired to continue to push those boundaries when it comes to those musical endeavors?
I'm addicted to creativity. I feel like we all holler about God, but I feel like if you're not in a place of creating, I don't care what it is, it got to be music, that you're not walking in your Godship. You know what I mean? It's because that's what he's about, creating. He created.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm addicted. I love having an idea on my way to the studio and listening to it on the way home. Like, that's one of the biggest thrills in the world for me. And I just realized over the years, I realized early actually that being good at doing that can take care of me. So I'm addicted more so to the creativity and not the money, because the money is the byproduct of me being dope at creating. So
true. All right. So who gave you the nickname, the Heat Mizer?
Me?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of my favorite cartoons was Christmas Without Santa Claus, and the Heat Mizer, his brother Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to. That was like I literally would watch that in the summertime. I had it on DVD, and I would watch it all the time. And when I started producing, I was like, my name gonna be the Heat Mizer because I make it hot. Like that was that's where that come from. So
cool. Yeah. What's something about you that your fans will find most surprising?
one of my favorite pastimes is sitting on the couch with my wife watching HGTV. That's one of my favorite things to do. And the Food Channel.
Okay. Yeah, I love House Hunters.
Yeah, what you talking about, bro? Like last night we was watching Tiny Homes all night.
I want a tiny home. I
Shut
really
up.
do. So
No,
like in
you
my
don't.
hometown,
Me too.
because I only visit like maybe 2-3 times a year. But sometimes, well, now I stay at my uncle's house, but there were times where I'd have to get a hotel. I was like, why don't I just buy a tiny home
Put
and
it in
sit
his
it in my
backyard.
grandfather's yard? Yeah. And then I'll have a place to stay. It only costs like what, 30,000,
Yeah, bro.
and
I
be good to
want
go.
one so bad. Oh, man.
Is it gonna be on wheels, or are you just gonna
My wife last night said she'll take one on wheels.
Because Amazon, they sell them.
Oh, I don't really know. Trust me. We gonna have to talk about this. Have a whole other conversation when we get off here. Hey, I'm the tiny home master. I can design it and everything. Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to I watch Top Chef. Like it comes on tonight. That's my show.
Yeah, I used to watch it faithfully. I don't get a chance to watch it as much anymore. Yeah, I'm addicted to Chicago Fire, so that's one of my favorite regular TV shows.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you see when you look in a mirror besides shades of Devine?
Somebody that leaves it all on the table. I'm talking about in every way. With my friends, I'm honest. I explain to them like, I love you, but love don't always look like what you want it to look like. So when I look in the mirror, I see somebody that's going to be honest, vulnerable, not perfect at all, but I see somebody I'm happy with, So, and that's what, hence I love my life. Like I tell people, I don't love it because it's perfect and it's so grandioso and great. I love it because it's mine. And when you come into that realization that it's yours, and 90% of the things that goes on in it is because of you, because of decisions you make and what you do, because we like to blame God, the devil, or whatever entity or whatever thing you believe in for the way it go, and not understanding that's 90% of the time a scapegoat. We don't want to be accountable for what we do. So when I look in the mirror, I look at somebody that wake up every day that say, yo, I'm going to do my best to get through the day and do it right. So.
Cool. All right.
Great questions, bro, by the way.
Oh, man. Oh, this is fun. We're having a good time. We're just winging it right now.
This is dope, bro.
Just talk about Marcus Devine's signature shades and where we can find it.
Shades of Divine on Instagram. All the styles are on there. I tell everybody, just pick out one, hit me in the DMs, because I still mail them out myself. I still go to the mailbox myself, bro. And everybody got them. Coco from SWV, Bobby V, Teddy Riley, Charlie Wilson, man. So I've been blessed with the shades, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so what's next for you, Marcus?
Another
Besides,
interview
I
right
love
after
music.
this one.
Oh man.
I know that ain't what you.
That's literally what's next.
Literally right. I ain't gonna even get up. I'm not even gonna get out the seat. I'm gonna sit right here and just hit the button like and go right back into it. But nah, man. Really just focusing on the record. I'm starting on Beth's new project too. So we on project number 3 with her. So really just finishing up my record. Got some shows coming up. I'm opening up for Genuine in a few cities, you know, as a solo artist, plus music director for them. So that's going to be kind of dope, you know. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, for sure. All right, so plug whatever you need to plug, and leave us with a parting shot.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna plug the single "Greatest Show." Came out March 12th. You only can get it at www.marcusdevine.com. It ain't no streaming site, so I don't do streaming no more. So you come to my site. The beauty though of making that sacrifice to come to my site is everybody that buys the single gets an affiliate link, and everybody that shares the link, if somebody buys through your link, you make $1.20 every time somebody buy my CD. Well, not CD, but my single.
All right.
No artist is paying you to listen to their music but me.
I love the concept. All right, so leave us with a gem. You know, some inspiring words for those that are, you know, trying to make it out of Detroit or any metropolitan city and pursue their dreams, to show up at Aaliyah's recording session to sing background and have Charlie Wilson be able to coach Charlie Wilson. You know, give us some inspiring words.
You got to make sure that you're more important than anything in the world, and that's what I say. And I'm saying that because I've been able to do this thing. Never been on drugs, bro. Never been a part of no scandals. None of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm the most important person in the story, no matter what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. So I would tell everybody, make sure you stay the value in your story. I don't care what artist you're working with. Never be so eager to do anything that you would sacrifice yourself to do.
Marcus Devine, the Heat Mizer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it was a pleasure, brother.
Man, I enjoyed myself, bro. I really have.
Oh yeah. I didn't know I had a soul brother when it comes to tiny houses.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna go tiny house shopping. And I'm like, yo, where you moving, bro? I'm put mine next door.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
So I Love My Life coming in October.
Yes, sir.
MarcusDevine.com.
Yes, sir.
And for Stop, Look, and Listen, I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. See you next week. Peace and blessings.